Welcome to Leading Voices by GSF. My name is Antoni Lacinai, global keynote speaker and the host of this YouTube initiative. And today I have I will take it one more time. This is the first time I do it. Okay, from the beginning. Welcome to Leading Voices by GSF. My name is Antoni Lacinai, global keynote speaker and also the host of this YouTube initiative. And today I have with me Joni Peddie, and I'm so happy for that. Welcome, Joni.
Thank you, Antoni. It's always great to speak with you.
Yes, we've met each other a number of times already, which is great fun every time. But this time we're going to talk about your role at GSF and also your own association and so on. But the first thing I would like to ask you is about you. So give yourself a 1 minute commercial about your passion and what you bring to the world.
My passion really is about resilience. How do we bounce forward after adversity? So I've got a trailblazing life of loss and tragedy and losing a husband when my children were young. And I taught them that actually you never bounce back. So what I want to bring to the world is ways to be resilient, ways to use your emotional intelligence and really to bounce forward. Because after any change, actually, and challenge, and the world is full of challenges now, is if we can really bolster our mental, emotional, and physical resilience, we will have a better time on this earth, and we add value to each other.
I absolutely love the expression of bouncing forward, and we all have experienced adversities of some way or another. Yours, pretty big one, obviously, as you just mentioned. How about going into your association? Thank you for sharing that, by the way. Your association, when did it start and why?
It's just so timeless, Antoni, that we chat now, because guess what? On the 1st of February, 2025, we turned 20 years old. I nearly said 25, 20 years old. So when did our association start? Thank you, Steph du Plessis. It was the 1st of February in the year 2005. So we've been going for 20 years, and we are the Professional Speakers Association of Southern Africa. So we include some other countries that neighbor us. And that's really exciting, is that we have been going for 20 years. And we've got 4 chapters, Johannesburg, Pretoria, Cape Town, and a virtual chapter. So people from surrounding companies can dial in. And certainly when they come and visit the various cities, is they get a huge, warm South African welcome to our association.
That is amazing. Congratulations to that. We at Sweden, where I live, we celebrated 10 years this year, actually. So we're just half your age, more or less now. Cool. Okay. And Southern Africa, that was good that you said, because again, I thought it was South Africa first, but then I realized after a minute that it was actually Southern Africa. So you include more countries. Why did you start?
Well, Steph du Plessis, our founder, realized that actually there are speakers and trainers and facilitators and coaches that need a community and they need a home. And he had been going to the NSA in America, and he just really said, hey, let's bring some of those people to South Africa and see if we can start this community. So the community was started with the purpose of saying, let's bring all of these people who speak for a living or have some kind of, business that they're looking at speaking in some way or another, and bring them under one hat and provide some value to them. So actually that really springboards me into, we are very serious about our PSASA values, which are community. So we really serve as a community, and there's a lot of helping each other. And the second value is collaboration, which you and I spoke about earlier. And then competence. We want to a rising tide lifts all boats. So the third competency is competence. We want confident speakers who are courageous, and they also celebrate each other. So I've seen these values being embedded. I haven't been with the association for 20 years. I was still in nappies then, Antoni. So of course not. But I wish I had been with the association for 20 years. I would have probably got further in my speaking career if I joined earlier. So that's why people join us. There's this tremendous set of values, and they really feel a sense of belonging and community, which is vastly different actually to what I saw about 18 years ago, 15 years ago, where there was quite a lot of competition and a lot of ego. That certainly has turned around as more and more people have been attracted to the association and different leadership styles. So it's a home. It's a home for all speakers, trainers, facilitators, and coaches.
And listening to you telling me this, there was a lot of C's in that one. I cannot even recall everyone that you just mentioned.
There are 6 C's. They all C's the values. Yeah.
6 C's. 4 chapters also start with C, of course. So we're going to go into this soon. But I want to ask you one question first. What is the best thing with PSASA?
There are many best things, but I'm going to say my personal best thing is that we nurture young talent. So we really are looking at aspiring speakers and even students and bringing them into our organization. And we've got what we call classes, speaker classes. So we have a lift-off class. And that lift-off class, and sorry, we've got a lift-off class, but we've also got a launch class. We've got 3 classes. Launch, you've never really spoken. It's your first year in the industry. You may be still working, but you got a sideline hustle of speaking. So you want to launch your speaker business. And I think the best thing about PSASA is that we bring those people into our fold and we teach them everything they need to know. So they go through a series of classes to launch themselves. And then when they've been speaking for about a year, they can go into lift off, the second speaker class. And then thirdly, we have a speaker class called Luminary. And those are speakers that have been speaking for over 10 years. So I've just seen that, this kind of collaborating together has been so beneficial. And I've been part of those classes in different ways, but now in the Luminary class. And Antoni, I literally diarize month to month. I don't take other client gigs when the PSASA Luminary meeting is on. We really are vulnerable. We cross-fertilize ideas. We help each other. We've obviously got a WhatsApp group. So you can just reach out and say, I have a problem, with a client on an ethical issue or an opportunity here, or I don't know how to get a visa for Outer Mongolia. What do I do? And there's always someone there to help you, which is just phenomenal. It's a really
awesome.
caring at a deep, deep level for our people in our groups.
I mean, we do share a very active Facebook group ourselves, but not at all doing what you do with kind of bringing and helping the new talents, so to say. I hope that I will share this definitely with our home association, because I think many of the associations around the world can actually benefit from listening to this. How do you make sure that you keep a good standard, a good quality? Well, you train them, you help them become good and great even. Really excellent. Okay, that was a good one.
Yeah, your point is such a valid point, Antoni. You're such a good listener. Is that there are a couple of associations that have heard about our 3 classes, Launch, Lift Off, and Luminary, and they've asked us to speak to their boards about them. So we're really happy to do that and share our learnings over the years, because we've fine-tuned it over I think it's been going now. I was president in 2020. And we were just starting it about in 2019. So it's been going for about 5 or 6 years.
Another question I have now, thank you. I'm going to move to another question. That was about the 4 chapters you have. I mean, regionally or size-wise, Southern Africa is a big region. Yes. And you have 4 chapters. What does that bring you to have those 4 chapters, which, by the way, are all inside South Africa, apart from the virtual one then? What does it bring you to have those different chapters?
It brings us that sense of community, which is our first value, because people in the different regions are somewhat different. The economics are different. The opportunities with clients are different. The cultural dimensions are quite different. So I think people find a sense of home when they're in a region where they've got people that are like-minded and really have the same or similar opportunities or challenges or, learning curves. So it really, that in person, those, some of those chapters are all in person, besides the virtual, of course. And to meet people and sit and build relationships when you're in person, you've just got to have that in the different geographies of our country.
Yeah, so then you mentioned now two different success factors. One is really catering for the different regions and the different circumstances, so to say. And then the other one was helping newcomers all the way up to really experienced one to excel and be better. Good. Anything else you want to share when it comes to success factors?
The other success factor is what we call a speaker factor competition. So we started that 4 years ago. And what we do is we get each of the regions to nominate people in their region, and they enter this competition, which is speak for 5 minutes. No props, no slides, no outfits, nothing, but speak on your topic for 5 minutes. And then we've got 4 criteria. So we then assess them according to their stagecraft, their script, their delivery, that's each 20%, and then their bookability, because after all, we all speak in order to be booked. So the bookability is 40%. And those people from the regions come into a final, which is just before our annual convention. And I think that's a huge success factor. I have literally watched the first speaker factor winner, which is Zanele Njapa from KwaZulu-Natal, which is a very small chapter. She had just risen to stardom when she won that particular competition. So it's a great incentive, and people get coached during that process of putting their 5-minute presentation together. And they then come to the next, when they win, if they win 2025, they'll come to the 2026 convention and not have to pay. So, and they'll deliver a proper keynote on main stage in 2026. So there's such a lovely progression there. And we've just seen people come from nothing and blossom and thrive. It's brilliant to watch.
Yeah, we have much to learn from you. It seems really good. Okay, so but let me tell, is there one thing that you struggle with today that you feel this is a challenge for us?
We are struggling with bringing in those students. So we've got a special price point as a membership, and we wanted to bring in, in South Africa, we're bustling with entrepreneurs, but we're also bustling with students who may have degrees and they cannot find work. And they're people that they would be brilliant speakers, and we're just not attracting them as quickly as we would like to. So that would be an avenue. And then obviously it's always a matter of pushing our membership numbers up. And this year we've got an acronym called Growth, and we were really hoping to grow. And we're on track, but not as much as we would like to be. The South African economy is quite depressed. Our exchange rate is not good. And now with Trump coming in America, our exchange rate is plummeting as well. He doesn't like South Africa.
Let's not go in. Planning on saying a lot of things. Well,
Yes.
I'm not that. All right, cool. Thank you. Yeah, and I think most of us struggle with or want to have a bigger community, you can say, because there are more people out there that could, that we can embrace and that can benefit from us as well. What would you say is the next thing on your agenda? If you have a goal or if you have a crystal ball, what would it be?
The next thing is there's a couple of things. There's the immediacy, quite tangible thing of our conventions coming up in April, the 4th to the 6th of April. There's actually something innovative we're doing there as well. We sound like real, divergent thinking innovators. But I love the convention convener has put together a showcase the day before the convention, and actually inviting bureaus and event organizers and meeting planners to that showcase, which is lovely. So, it's not only other speakers who attend our convention, it's those people who will book us. So that's brilliant. So that's the immediate, it's called Gearing Up to Thrive in 4th to the 6th of April. And then we have a changeover of guard. And I specialize in leadership and emotional intelligence. And the next big thing on the 2025, really looking at the annual year, is the new leaders to come into place. And in my experience, Antoni, I think all associations battle with this a little bit. There's always a wobbly period in transitions and changeovers in all aspects of life, actually. And I just think if we get our leaders up to speed quicker, they can hit the ground running for their 12-year roles in EXCO teams.
Yeah, the handover is so important. We feel it as well, and we don't have. I don't know. Do you have this like vice president, president, past president structure.
Yes.
We don't.
Yes.
So we just have the president, and then when he or she leaves, gone. So we need to have a better handover than if we had your system, for sure. Thank you. Good advice all the way. Now let's go into GSF for a while also. You're the representative, but you're also handling the newsletter right now.
I am indeed.
So you have two roles. I mean, yeah.
Roles, yes. So I love sitting on the GSF board, and I've had the privilege and honor of, this is my second term of 3 years. So it's really lovely. And it's actually, you know, just looping back to what we said previously, is that when you've been in a leadership role for a while, you really grow, you know, you just grow deeper and deeper and deeper in knowledge, and therefore you can add back and give back. So this year I thought, okay, let me put my hand up to do the newsletter, and taking over from Sylvie D'Augusto, who is just brilliant on all levels, and her attention to detail has been fantastic. But let me tell you, it's been daunting. It's daunting learning that platform. I'm technology slightly deficient, and so I've been having to bring myself up to speed. But also really just people are busy, getting those people from various associations to say, come, let's hear your news. Let's hear your insights. Because I don't just want to hear about their conventions. I want to hear what they've learned in the last 12 months that they can share. Because if we cross-fertilize these ideas amongst the 17 associations, we will all learn and grow. So it's getting people to really put their thinking caps on and write something specifically for the GSF to share with other associations, because you're speaking association to association, you're not speaking about speaker problems. So it's a different level of conversation. I've enjoyed taking it over, but goodness gracious, it's taken a lot of time to get up to speed.
Yeah, and then you had this call to action actually for all the associations. If you want to share knowledge and get knowledge, you have to share knowledge. It's the sharing is caring. If all of us do that, it would be really great.
Yes, that is. So
and what would you say, if I turn it around then, if you would, again, going back to your own home association, what would you want from Global Speakers Federation?
I think our association just can grow and learn from others. If we can, you know, not go through, you know, painstaking learning, but we can leapfrog some of that, where people have said, hey, if you're attracting students or to push up your membership that way, this is what you can do to attract students. This is what this generation is looking for, or, you know, so those kinds of real learnings that can just help that whole revenue expenditure ratio. We don't have enough revenue to have permanent staff at PSASA. So it's all volunteer roles, all busy people, and you really just want to have a little bit of fat so that you can have an executive assistant who's doing some of the admin, et cetera, et cetera. So we want to learn from other associations.
It sounds like most of speakers that I talk to are not really into admin for some strange reason. It's not that the funny. It is funny. It is. Anything I forgot to ask you, Joni?
I don't think so. I love your flow of questioning, Antoni. No, I think that was pretty comprehensive. I wanted to do a shout out to Ruby Newlegner. So she is the current president. Is coming to our convention in April. And I love the fact that people have really, to incentivize people to join our convention, we're adding prizes and doing all sorts of fun bells and whistles this year. And Ruby, thank you to her, she's offered an hour's coaching, which is really valuable for South Africans. So if people book before the 28th of February, they stand to win an hour's coaching from Ruby. And that's the kind of, heartfelt generosity that I think a lot of association members around the world are giving in various ways, which is lovely.
I've been wanting to come to your conventions for a number of years now. I need to find some work at the same time, because it's actually almost exactly around the world for me. So we're in the same time zone, but it's so vast, you know, when it comes to travel. It will happen. It will happen for sure. Joni, it's been a pleasure, as always, to talk to you. And I think that we just provided a lot of value to the associations out there.
Great. Thank you, Antoni. And this time next year, you will be here with extra work in South Africa. Let's be positive.
Let's make that happen. Thank you so much.